Mexico.
We got it. We're packed up. From cars on, lights on, directions in the phone.
Screenshots of the directions in the phone.
Full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Let's roll.
Good morning, Rebels.
Last night we drove from Cancun to Valladolid at night. It was fine.
It was an adventure.
It was an adventure. We almost hit the Chupacabra. Got into our hotel, got a little food to eat, and crashed for the night. But we're here. It's almost 8 o'clock.
We're waiting in line for Chichen Itza to open.
So when we came through, there was a little bit of a security point. Dude just kind of waved us through. Tour guides in the front, just kind of giving you a little bit of info and then seeing if you need a tour guide.
Yeah.
It's 80 pesos to park. 571 pesos per person if you're not a national.
They did offer a private tour for 80 USD for the both of us. It's a little pricey. I think we're just gonna download the self-guided tour on the app for the phone.
So the gentleman that does tours in the front saw me break out my cane, just kind of stand there, and he said, you know, once you come through here to my, I don't know, whatever side this is, that side, there you go, Jinxy's got us. Do pull Savannah White. Once you come through there, turn the corner and come over to this place right here, and I guess if you have, kind of show that you have your disabled card of some sort, they will actually let you in for free.
Yeah.
So
we got
crazy, didn't expect that.
Yeah,
totally willing to pay the price.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, and then there's also a 50 peso charge for the GoPro. So we're gonna go pay that right now and then get on inside.
Yeah, let's go. I'm excited.
We inside, but we outside.
We inside to outside.
We're gonna get ourselves situated, oriented. Saw some vendors setting up outside.
I imagine that this strip right here is just going to be like jam-packed with vendors in a few hours.
Side note, after we made it through the gate, the guy that we've been talking to, he actually saved us some money by doing the disabled thing. But he's like, oh, if you don't want to do it for $80 US, I'll do it for 60.
Yeah, he did try to cut us a deal, but like I said, I already downloaded the self-guided tour.
It's like $7.
Was like, yeah, $7. Typically, I would be like, okay, yeah, let's get a guided tour. I don't know. I kind of just want to be able to go at our own pace and explore.
Let's actually do this thing. Oh. Look, we're here. Jinxy's emotional. This thing is incredible. You can see all the pictures in the world. It's nothing like seeing it in person. You really just need to come here and see it. I don't know if you can hear that. We can. And we couldn't on videos that we watched before. It's like a pew, pew, pew.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it's totally neat. And so when you hear all the clapping in the background, that's that. But no, and you don't really know it, or you don't really hear it until you kind of get in that straight angle from the from the stairs. here you can see a little bit of the difference between the side that the entrance is on and the back side. I like this. This is cool too.
Yeah.
What you think?
Well, you get to see like the wear over time. So you have the front that's, you know, been well maintained, and then you come to the back side and you can see time and how time has affected this place. And it's just, I'm overwhelmed right now.
She's running away. Don't run away from the emotion. Feel it. Feel it. So in the columns, there's warriors carved into each side. Not sure whether or not they were actual people or not, but if they were, man, what none of that would have been, huh?
So this is part of the Temple of Warriors, House of 1,000 Columns.
They're perfectly in line. I can't even get the couch straight.
This is where people would have come to set up their shops and have commerce. It was apparently all covered by thatched roofs too, so all of this would have been shaded and people would have been hanging out underneath. You can still see some of the remnants of the red and blue paints that they used.
See, like right about there, the blue and red paints that they used. We haven't found anything on what this part is, so wild conjecture is the game. What do you think, Jinxie? What was this for?
A house, a home of the priests. It's pretty close to the main temple, so this could have been where the priests or priestesses lived or practiced. The roof is kind of interesting. Who knows if that's like just part, what's left of, you know, another structure on top too.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I'd say it's almost like a aqueduct kind of thing. The structure, like holding stuff underneath, maybe to keep food or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's walk around, maybe see if we can. Maybe this is the backside too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell like what's the front and what's the back of a structure.
Oh, there's like a bunch of columns and stuff up in there.
Yeah.
Let's touch it. Bad boys, bad boys. Naughty, naughty. It's interesting, right? Like all that was like 3 little overhangs. Although now that I see them on the backside, it looks like could have actually maybe stood underneath it.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like that from the front. Oh, it's pretty
Massive.
Oh, this is like the outer side to the columns, because I see people walking through it. So this had to have been like the wall around the columns and the warrior temple and all that stuff.
Warriors,
yeah, fierce sculpture right there. So this area, just figured out too. So after the heyday of the Mayans in this site in Chichen Itza, later was used by just locals living in the area as residential space, which I think is amazing. Now it's one of the new 7 wonders of the world, and you had people just kind of like kicking it here.
To imagine it like how it was back then.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's mind-blowing.
Eat your heart out, kids. That's what they're doing right there. Eagles and jaguars eating hearts. How freaking punk rock. So this was the road. Like people that were about to be sacrificed come down this way. And now you can just be death by vendor.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely try to get you down this way.
Yeah.
I mean, Granted, there's a lot of like cool little wares and stuff, and but it could be a little overwhelming as far as if you're just here to see the sights.
Another thought as we walk down the road: for one to sacrifice oneself. Don't know that it always has to be the self-serving thing that everybody tends to talk about of straight to heaven. You know, it's a one-way ticket. Can I get to skip the levels and go straight to paradise? But I can see someone sacrificing themselves in the idea that they believe it's going to bring rain or food or whatever, prosperity, and their family and people that they care about that are still remaining on this realm be taken care of. I could see someone sacrificing themselves for that.
Imagine how many human remains are down there.
Would you get your head chopped off to the Mayan gods?
I feel like I might already have.
Casi me vuelvo loco con esa. 24 horas. Yo lo vi en una semana.
This is a side that I don't think most people show you. This is the back side of the ball court. Looks like stairs all the way to the top. So I think the way it looks like is you'd walk out the back and you'd sit up top and watch down into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then right there, I think that might have been like the high royal spot because it's elevated above everything else. And what do you think this thing over here is?
I don't know. Maybe it could be a spot where like the royals or the priests or somebody like the upper echelons of like the community sat and watched.
I think it was the food spot.
Or it was the beer spot.
Because I could go for food and a beer.
I think it's time for food and a beer.
I think we're gonna go take a moment at the main pyramid here for a second, right before we go.
We're in the, well, not really technically in the shadow, but we're figuratively in the shadow of one of the greatest Mayan archaeological sites ever constructed. It's such a blessing to be here. This was like a major thing on my bucket list for Mexico. Thank you, husband.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for getting up early.
I'm not easy in the morning. I have not had coffee today, but it's cool. It's worth it. Definitely, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. You can look at a million pictures. It's nothing like the real thing.
Watch our YouTube video.
I mean,
for
watch
sure.
it. Yeah, watch this one. Watch the rest of them. Stick with us. See the cool stuff. We'll share it. But it's still like nothing like in person.
Yes.
And that's really like, we want to invite you guys to like, please come out and see these things. Yeah. And I think too here, like, well, would you say wheelchair accessible then?
Yeah, it is. I think it is for the most part wheelchair accessible. I mean, there are paths. They're not paved, but they are paths. Some of it can be a little rocky, but
I think you could do it.
Yeah, you can do it, and you can take your time too. There's places to sit, there's shaded spots. Don't have to mash through it. I would suggest getting here early, especially if you are handy capable. Yeah, get here a little early. That way you can take your time and you can really be able to see things before the crowds start to get here. It's
Why
almost
are we talking this way?
I don't know.
Let's do. Look at
It's
that. Let's talk
yeah.
this way.
It's
Oh,
almost,
there's sun.
Yeah. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can definitely start to see the crowds are starting to roll in. Yeah.
Yeah, the salesmen are friggin' hilarious.
They are pretty funny.
they definitely got their game on.
Yeah, they get their hustle on for
Yeah,
sure.
they've got all the lines.
Yep.
We've heard a couple of them before, but some new ones for sure. So it's interesting to listen to either way.
Yeah.
But we did end up buying one thing. Way in the back, the dude is sweating his butt off, and was handcrafted, hand painted.
Yeah. Hand painted leather that we got was like the only. I've seen a lot of stuff here, and it's a lot of the same stuff.
Stuff you can find elsewhere, really.
He hand painted this leather. So,
yeah. And he knew all the symbolism.
As an artist, I really appreciated that.
Support Mayan, buy local art. Thanks for joining us. That's what you're trying to beat by getting here early.
So glad we got here early.
We leaving, they all trucking in.
It's 11:18 and we are out.
Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go get our grub on because I'm freaking hungry. So hungry, it's so hot. We didn't go too far. Decided we didn't want to make it down the road yet. So we stopped at the little restaurant here at Chichen Itza. It's definitely a little overpriced, not as fancy looking, but whatever. That's what you do at any other museum, right?
It was like 145 pesos for 2 tacos.
Yeah, I mean, you're not breaking the bank by U.S. standards, but it's a little more expensive than other places.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
It's been a pretty long morning. Like we were up at like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we've been rocking around inside Chichen Itza for about 3.5 hours.
Kind of like pushed through the last like maybe 20-30 minutes, but
the crowds are getting too much. It's hard to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
what it really is. So it's definitely worth getting here early, like for that. And everybody says that, but like it's more than just beating the crowd. You don't get the same ambiance. You don't get the same feel.
Yeah, I mean it definitely does change the feel of the place. Once the crowds got here, it didn't feel as like spiritual for me. I think we came in with like maybe 10 people, 20 max. When we
were
first
like
got here.
Third small group in line.
Yeah, and it was very quiet. You know, get here however you can get here, but make sure you get here.
If you can't beat the crowd, just beat the heat.
Yeah.
Because it's getting really hot.
Yeah.
So just bring lots of water.
Yeah.
Maybe an umbrella for shade.
Still 80 to 90 degrees. And we were lucky because this morning we had a nice amount of cloud coverage too, so it definitely helped. But once the cloud coverage burned off and it got to be like 10:30, 11 o'clock, you could feel the heat.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I can smell myself.
Limonada.
Cerveza. Alright.
Okay.
We'll see you in whatever's next, I guess.
Whatever we do next.
Bye.
You'll be with us.